All right, in day 3, we're going to go back to Algebra 2 because we have done this before. We've used the calculator to solve a system of equations. Okay, so it's just a time saver, all right, and also helps with the more complicated problems and some of the ones that are kind of nasty and lead to, fractional answers and make it more complicated. We can use a calculator. So, RREF, ref. Now, why do I say it like that? Because there's 2 R's. Because there is in your calculator a ref, REF, and we don't want ref, we want ref. What does it mean? It's technically called the Gauss-Jordan row reduced echelon form of a matrix, RREF. Okay? Not really important to know that, but curiosity. So solve the RREF, ref, solve by using that. So we have our 2 equations, 2x plus 2y equals 216. 3x, 4y, 332. Here is the matrix for it. Now, there's 2 instructions on here. Everything we have in here is the TI-83 plus or 84. Okay? So, here's how it works. I'm going to pull this up. And the best way to do this is to practice it over and over again. Okay? So, I'm going to clear it out. The more you do these, even if you do the same problem 10 times, the keystrokes, the muscle memory, you'll learn it really quickly. So the best thing to do is just practice this. Whenever you have a chance, just practice it in class. Just pull one up that you've already done, you know the answer to, and just go through the steps a few times. 2, 3, 5 times. Promise it will help you. So we're going to hit second, x to the negative 1. Below the math key, see where it says matrix here in blue? This is the blue key. There we go. Now, we're going to go over to edit. You can go over like this, twice to the right, or you can just go once to the left. Hit enter. Now, it already is set up for a 2x3, but let's say, it wasn't. Let's say it was a 3x4. Okay? You would just, when you get in here, it would look like this. Okay? All you do is hit 2, hit enter. It goes right to there. You hit 3, you hit enter. Now you're in the box. Okay? And we're going to put these numbers in the box. Now, the best thing you can do, and it happens to me, is make sure you check as you go. Okay? So, 2, and I'll tell you right now, for example, this one, even though I said it when I was entering it, the 2 didn't show up, and this ended up being a 6. And when I ran the numbers, my numbers were wrong. And I knew I was wrong, but I didn't know why. I came back and looked, and even though I'd said double check, I missed it. Okay? So always check. So I'm going to hit 2, enter. That's this 2 right here. And then this one, 2, enter. And I'm double checking as I go. And then I want a 216. So 2, 1, 6. This is a very easy one to just, end up 26 because the 1 disappeared, or 16, or 21. So just be careful. Here we have 3. Here we have 4. And here we have 3, 3, 2. So 3, 3, 2. Okay? All entered. Now, what we're going to do is, it seems silly, we're going to hit second quit. We're going to leave it. Because otherwise, we need the screen cleared. Otherwise, it'll mess it up when we go to the next step. Okay? Now, we're going to do the RREF part right here. Okay? It's really easy. It's just, it seems crazy because you're going into matrix all the time, but that's why it's easy, because you just do the same keystrokes. So we're going to go into matrix. This time we're going to go over to math. And I did something wrong. Let's try it again. Second matrix, go over to math. Oh, I hit enter for some reason on number 1. We want to scroll down to B, RREF. So I'm going to scroll down until I get to B. Takes a little bit. There it is. Notice how I said earlier there's an REF. We don't want that one. We want ref. 2 R's, EF. You hit enter. It says press matrix again, okay, which is second, that button. It says choose the matrix you're trying to solve for. Well, usually we just leave 1 in here and overwrite it. That's how I do it. So it's already highlighted that. You could hit 1 or just hit enter. and hit enter again. There's our answer. See how this matches this? There's our answer right there. And what that means is this number here is my x, that number here is my y. We could write it as a point, like so. All right? Number 2, we're going to do it step by step. So first off, write the augmented matrix. So 5, negative 9, 17. Negative 8, 2, negative 11. So watch. We go into second matrix. We go over to edit. It already says 2 by 3, so I'm just going to hit enter, enter. And I'm going to put 5, enter. Remember, use this little negative key down here, not the minus key. Use this negative, 9, enter. Double checking as I go. 17. Now see, I hit 17, but the 7 didn't show up. So I know I made a mistake. Just go back up here and hit 17 again. Okay? It happens. Negative 8, 2, and negative 11. Okay? We quit. Go back, right back into matrix. Go over to math. Now, another way to get to it, instead of going down all those spaces, if you just go up, you get there a little bit quicker. Saves a few keystrokes. Enter. Now we need to tell it to look in A. So what do? We hit matrix again, and we just hit enter, and then enter. Now it says write as fractions, and we could convert this in fractions, but I'm fine with you just writing it as decimal. So 1.04, okay, and negative 1.31. 1.04 and negative 1.31. That's my x, that's my y. Okay, deleting matrices, we're not even going to mess with this. It's a nice little way of doing it, but I just keep the same one and override it. So there's really no reason to have to delete a matrix. We just override it. All right, this one, going to write our matrix or echelon form, I'm sorry, augmented form. This one is fine. Whoops. So we have 4, negative 3, and 26. This one is 5 over 8. But my y, I need to move over. So that'd be negative 2.5. And then I'd have 0 here. Okay? So, we go back into our calculator. I go to matrix, go over to edit, enter. It's still 2 by 3. I'm going to put in these numbers. 4, negative 3, 26. Now the fraction. There's 2 ways to do this. You can literally just type in 5 divided by 8. Now it's going to turn it into a decimal, but that's fine. Another way to do it is, if you remember, alpha y equals, but it's a little bit different here. In the past, when we want to enter a fraction, we would do alpha y equals and then type in, it would give us little boxes. In matrices, for some reason, it's kind of weird. You have to hit the first number, the numerator, then do alpha y equals. Hit enter, because see, it just puts it like right there, and then you put the 8 in. Okay? I don't think it's really worth all the trouble of having to remember to put the numerator in first. So entering it as a decimal, a fraction, and then having it convert to a decimal is totally fine. And then negative 2.5, and then 0. At this point again, I quit out of that, go right back in, go over to math. I'm going to scroll up to B, tell it to look in matrix A, and there's my answer. I hit it twice. 8 and 2. So x is 8, y is 2. Okay? Now, I'm going to save time here. I'm not going to go through all the procedures. I think we practiced it enough. I just want to talk about a few things. A unique solution. Okay? We've been getting so far the diagonal ones here, okay, and the identity matrix, and then just numbers here like this, okay? Now, on this one, number 4, if we plug this in, okay, what we end up getting, and I'm just going to, like I said, save time, I'm not going to walk through it again. What we end up getting for this one, which again, we would enter this, I'll do this part. We put this one into our calculator, and this is what we would get. We get 1, -3, and 1.5, but then we would get all zeros. What does that mean? If the bottom row is all zeros, we have infinite solutions, which means we're talking about the same line. Okay, think back to graphing, it's the exact same line. Remember, when we solve a system of equations, we're looking for the intersection of the two lines, x comma y. Well, in this case, the line is just painted over the previous line, so every point on the first line is every point on the second line. Next special one is if I put in 2, -6, 3, just like before, but this time 4, -12, 9. This is what we would get. We would get 1, -3, 0. Close to the same thing, but this time we would get 0, 0, 1, which means no solution. In other words, parallel lines, no intersection. And that's it.